Welcome to tutorial 3 of the race car block. We will be describing how to create a shape to your block and make it look more to the race car what you're envisioning. The way we're going to do this is by removing portions of this block to create your race car. The first step you want to do is get to a bottom view. You can simply rotate around so you see your bottom. Click on bottom. Make sure it also says bottom over here. And once you have that, you're ready to go. First thing we're going to do is talk about a little new tool here. This tool is called the polyline. And the polyline is different from a regular line because when you're finished with it, it'll be all one joined shape. If I were to do this with my regular line, when I was finished with it, it'd still be 3 individual lines. Something else you're going to want to do is take off ortho mode right now. You'll see why in a second. Do not need these anymore, so I'm going to delete them. So the first step I'm going to do is create the shape of my nose. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I have the area I want to work on. Again, I'm going to select polyline. I'm going to come down here until it gives me the snap for the midpoint. This will give you a nice even look of your race car. What I'm going to do is I want that front corner gone. So I'm going to take it out and create a triangle that encompasses the area I want to remove right here. And generally, if you're removing it from one side, you want to remove it from the other. So we're going to use a new tool called mirror. It's located right here, 3D mirror. So what you're going to want to do is come up here, click on 3D mirror, make sure it is highlighted. It tells you to select object. Once you select it, hit enter. Specify first point of mirror plane. The plane is what it's going to be mirrored on, and says must have 3 points. The first one I'm going to pick is right here. If you notice, there's no more points on this plane, so I'm going to zoom out and come down here where I know 2 more points exist that are perpendicular to the first one. If you've clicked 3 times, you should get this: delete source objects. You do not want to delete the original triangle, which is the source object, so as long as it says no, hit enter. You'll be able to come back and see that you now have 2 identical triangles to remove these 2 pieces. From there, you want to rotate from bottom to our southeast isometric again, so we can see our 2 triangles. And just like before, we're going to extrude them. So I'm going to click on this one, and yes, you can extrude 2 at one time. So I'm going to click on both of them, hit enter. Now I'm going to drag them up through my block. This will allow me to do another step we have already done, the solid subtract. So you click on solid subtract, click on the object you want to keep, enter, click on the 2 objects you'd like to remove, enter. You've now pointed the nose of your race car. Do you need to do this? No. Must you do it? No. This is your design from this point on. So you can repeat these steps simply by drawing shapes in the bottom view, then extruding them up, solid subtract, and create whatever design you would like. Things to be aware of though are axle tubes. Generally, you do not want to cut too much off either end of them. You need to have some axle tube that can support. Can you take a little off? Yes. Can you take a little off this one? Yes. However, you may not take anything that impedes with this tube right here in the back. A shot of compressed air is going to be pushed into this, and if there's a hole in the top, bottom, or side, it will not fire nearly as far as it should, making your race car not fast at all. So just to review, say I want to take something out of another area. I'm first going to rotate, get to the bottom view, grab my polyline, and maybe I want to take something out of this area. I'm going to take something that looks like this. Again, use your polyline to draw an object of what you're trying to remove this area right here. Then we're going to mirror it by selecting the mirror tool. Select your object, enter. Specify 3 midpoints. 1, 2, 3. Delete source object. No. Enter. I've got myself another shape. Again, I can rotate to my southeast isometric. Click on extrude. I'm probably going to have to move this slightly so I can see this, but it seems it'll allow me to grab it. Hit enter. Extrude up. Go to solid, subtract. Click on the object you want to keep. Click on the objects you want to remove. Hit enter. Again, making more shape to my race car. One thing to be aware of, make sure the center portion is strong enough to hold your car through a drive. If it is not, it might just break in half. So be aware of that. And continue on with this process from the bottom view, taking out what you want. We will do another tutorial tomorrow on how to take stuff from the bottom in case you want to thin something else out. But we'll continue that tomorrow. So at any point you can review this tutorial, go back, see what you missed, and create an awesome race car. So you've already watched the straight line version of this, but we don't need to put in just straight lines. You can also put in curves. And I'm going to show you how you can do that. First thing, just like with straight line, you want to rotate to your bottom view. I'm going to work on the nose again first. But if you want, you can do 3-point arcs. To do this, you're going to click on an arc here. It says specify starting point of arc. So I'm going to find the middle, midpoint. Then you also, if you haven't already, you want to turn off ortho. It'll save you a lot of pain. I'm going to specify the second point of the arc. I want it somewhere out in here. My third point, I want out in that area. Create an arc. From there, you want to go ahead and zoom in. You want to make sure you get exactly where this joins. Make sure you find the intersection. You see how that went to the square, showing you the end point of this. You need to make sure you get that. If you don't get that, it will not join. And again, you got an end point right there. And you got one. But I'm not just going to extrude one at a time or mirror just one at a time. I'm going to do another arc over here, I'm thinking. So again, I'm going to come in here, make my arc. One thing you want to pay attention if you do this is to make sure you leave yourself enough room in between to support your car. Again, I'm going to find the end point, come out, next end point. Now we can join all these. Just like before, we're going to modify join. And do these. If you click and drag with green, it'll select whatever's in the green box. Hit enter. Scroll over and make sure it's all one piece. Again, I'm going to go to modify join. Do the front one. Enter. Scroll over, make sure it's all one piece. If it's not, you did not connect at the end points. From there, we need to mirror this. Again, just like before. We're going to go to mirror, which is right here, the box, /box. Click on that. We can mirror two objects at one time. I'll select both of them. Hit enter. Specify first point. Specify second point. And the third point. Erase source objects. Nope. So you can hit enter. It's now mirrored to the other side. From there, we can return to our southeast isometric. Again, we're extruding, just like we did before. I'm going to extrude all 4 of these objects at one time. Enter. I'm going to bring them all up. Enter again. Now, if you notice how it's showing these lines in the front one, I'm going to guess that it's not going to delete it properly, but we're going to give it a try anyway. So we're going to use solid subtract. Click on what you want to keep. I want to keep my box. Enter. I want to subtract these 4 objects. Enter. As you noticed, it got rid of this, left and right side, but did not get rid of this. If you ever see lines like this, this means it was not joined properly. So, as a good learning moment, you have to go back and try that again. If it continues not to work, see me, and I'll try to help you out.